Okay, people, welcome to another Red Leaf Retrocast. This is the modern Gamecast, buddy. We're back.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
December,
people.
and the holidays had passed. All two people.
Okay, people. That's a great one. Okay, people, we're back. Okay. And we're back. This is the December. We're late. We're a little late on this one.
No. This is generally we generally release the previous month about a week or two later, just because sometimes there's a lot of game releases that come out at the end of the month. In this case, December, it was the holidays and the New Year's.
Yep. Yeah, man.
A lot of shit happened. There's some news.
I mean, a lot of news happened. Not a lot of games came out though. So
there's one piece of news I want to talk about in general. Let me pull up the article here. It's from Polygon. It just has a nice little intro thing. Would you rent a cloud-based gaming PC rather than buy your own?
I would buy my own.
I don't know. If it's solely cloud-based, and you don't have to, say, upgrade your PC all the time, that might not be the worst option.
Right.
Know?
I just, as someone who grew up in, Alaska, where there were internet caps and weird connection, I've just become accustomed to not really trust the cloud, even though that's really, really...
oh, yeah. I mean, if you live
now,
in an isolated environment like that, yeah.
No, I think in general, though, the internet in the world is not ready for, that kind of stuff. We still have a long ways to go until we can do solely cloud-based stuff like an entire PC. So.
Well, especially in the U.S., where the
definitely.
infrastructure just isn't being built to modern day.
Yep.
It's pretty rough. So how you been, man?
I've been good. I've been real tired. I've been working hard. I went on to the holidays with my family.
Yeah, you went to Hawaii, right?
Yeah, went to
That's
Hawaii.
where they all live?
Yeah, that's where they all live now.
Yeah, I went skiing.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to ski again. Mostly snowboarded though, but it was just too cold. It was.
I miss skiing. I used to ski a lot.
Oh, well, you might just have to make it up here, and we'll go to Vermont and New Hampshire to do some heavy skiing.
That would be a blast.
Really nice mountains up there. Really nice.
So
or we'll just meet halfway in the Rockies.
Sure, dude. Let's go to the Rockies together. That'd be a blast. We're gonna be streaming this week's episode or this month's episode again. So everybody in we'll get some questions from the Twitch chat and everything.
Excellent. And
every month you can follow one of us on Twitter and you can come view the podcast online. Hickey's in the stream. How's it going, bro?
We have our anime guy here.
We have the anime guy. No, he had some great questions last month.
He did.
Anyway, what have you been doing lately? What have you been playing? What have you been playing?
Well, I played a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which we'll get into later.
Definitely.
I've been, with the holidays and not many modern releases, I was catching up on a lot of games I wanted to finish. I finished Uncharted Lost Legacy. I finally just put it in. It's not even that long of a game either. I played about half of it for the podcast, and then I just put it down, played the rest of it. Great ending, great story. Definitely highly recommend it. It's a nice, tight experience. I played the shit out of Horizon Zero Dawn and the DLC.
Right.
Beat all of that. I've beaten 1.5 runs of Nier Automata. Mm-hmm. I hope to play at least another run and a half more. Game. You didn't like it?
I don't like Nier, no.
Oh, bummer, man. Do you like Persona 5?
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I'm not a huge on those super in-depth JRPGs. But Persona 5 had just enough style and art, and as far as the art style went, that was just so entertaining and just fascinating to play. Because it was this art piece that you were just watching.
It's filled with artsy
artsy charm. It's so beautiful. Yeah, no, it's so much charm. So.
Which a port came out that's filled with artsy charm, which we'll get into later. Okami HD.
Yeah. Okami HD came out in December.
Oh boy.
Watching animated. Yeah. How's it going, Hickey? JD, do you have my chat open?
I do.
Awesome.
I can see everything. No worries.
Good stuff.
The holidays was really good. Mom came up. It's always sad to see her leave. Been working on my bowling game. I've been in a rut for a couple months now, so I've kind of lost a couple sponsors on that end because I haven't won anything or placed good enough, so it's kind of rough doing that.
Yeah, that sucks.
Did you get
a job?
No.
No, not yet.
With the holidays, just no one's really hiring, no interviews, no nothing. I got an interview coming up next week, so we'll see how that goes.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah. I got a planned trip back to Toronto here at the end of the month to take care of some Canadian things I left behind I wasn't able to do in time.
Right.
Wow. Like importing and exporting the car.
That's
kind of a big one.
Right?
I bought a couple more Switch titles, so here we go. Here's some news.
Here we go. Here's some news.
Monster Hunter World is coming out at the end of the month here in January.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I went and made my pre-order yesterday before bowling, and what do I see on the shelf at this particular GameStop? Was Axiom Verge on the Switch.
Oh, so you got it!
I not only got Axiom Verge on the Switch, they apparently made a mistake or something, or they had a deal going, because it should not be $15. But that's how much I paid for it, and I've wanted to play Axiom Verge ever since my buddy Colin, who, as a side tangent, will be a permanent future member on the Retrocast. And he will be on the next episode, coming out next week.
Awesome. I'll have to listen in.
Yeah, I'm very excited. But yeah, he showed me Axiom Verge, and I'm like, wow, I've heard good things. It's like Super Metroid, basically. And
didn't I mention it's a Metroidvania game? But didn't I mention Axiom Verge to you?
You first brought it up, I think, in one of we were talking about it once before.
It was like 2 episodes ago. Yeah.
It was a while ago, man. It was last summer, and then Colin comes over, and he has it on his Vita, and he's just showing it to me.
It's a great Vita game. That's one of my.
So I was like, you brought it up, and I kind of looked it up. I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. Did some research, and then Colin showed me the game itself, and I got to see a little bit of the gameplay, and I was like, wow, I got to get this eventually, and I finally got it.
And how's it going? How are you liking it?
I haven't put it in yet. I've been heavily addicted to Nier Automata and the Sexy Brutale, which is an indie game. If you're into mystery-type puzzle games, this is a game that can't be missed, for sure. Another 2017 release.
Alrighty. I'll have to look into that. After Axiom Verge, though, make sure and go try Titan Souls.
It's on the list. I got a lot of games I want to get through. I want to get through Persona 5. I pretty much got to start that game over. It's been too long. That's always a problem I feel with RPGs. If I put them down too long, that I'm not as engrossed in the story as I should be at that point. And if they're good enough, then I won't have a problem replaying it. One thing we will not be getting into on this particular podcast episode is the Nintendo Direct that came out literally today, the little mini Direct. That will be a topic on the Retrocast.
Oh, really? I didn't watch that, but I've seen tons of trailers in my... Do we not want to talk about anything on it? Is it all retro and remasters?
The Nintendo Direct will be specifically saved for the Retrocast, because we got our hands full on this one with topics enough as it is, and we need some topics for the Retrocast.
I want to know what's in... What do they cover?
A couple releases, some release dates in March, and then a lot of ports.
I'm looking at it right now.
That's the short version.
Can I just like fire it off? What we got?
Well, you know what? I'll save my thoughts for another time, but you're more than welcome to share your thoughts.
I'm just reading this little hit list right here. So new Pokemon and Pokemon Pokken Tournament. It's gonna be a new character. I don't know what it is because I didn't watch it.
A couple DLC characters, yep.
Okay, Kirby Star Allies, new abilities for Kirby and his buddies.
Yeah, he's got a pretty sweet art ability. I like that.
Hyrule Warriors is coming to Switch. That's awesome. I actually really wanted to play that game. I never did. Mario Tennis, I've been seeing so much about that. Ys 7, that game that I was talking about on the last episode that I wanted to play, is now going to Switch.
Ys 8. It's Ys 8.
5, 6, Ys 8!
Yeah,
I'm gonna play that now. I was curious about that one.
Well, remember we when it came out back in September, I believe. I spoke very highly of it because I played the Vita version.
Right.
And now that's coming to the Switch. That's actually quite exciting. More people are gonna want to play it.
Looks like you can find Luigi in a free update coming to Mario Odyssey. Face Off and SNK Heroines. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of that. New character in Mario Rabbids Kingdom. Payday
Donkey
2
Kong?
character premiering on Nintendo Switch? What? Payday 2 is coming to the Switch?
Yep, you get to rob banks again.
Dude, I'm getting that. That's going to be like the 9th time I've purchased that game.
Oh, you're a big fan of Payday 2.
Well, I really like Payday, but like they come out with a new version of the game like every 6 months. So, and it's always like on sale for like $10, so I always pick it up. Local play with PrimeNet, that's awesome. Song and Fae and Climb the Mountains and Celeste. Two indie games coming in. The Donkey Kong, like Tropical Forest Freeze or whatever it's called. Dark Souls Remastered is coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
That looks
Yeah, so that's the short little rundown of it all.
And The World Ends is coming back to Switch too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You have a particular topic that you wanted to talk about, very dear to you. You have been doing this crazy training for like a Halo tournament coming up. So basically, and I wanted to kind of mention this specifically because in April we're going to have 2 big esports events. They're both console esports events, but we're having Halo World Championship Finals, which Halo just got picked back up by MLG, so it's the Halo 5 has been kind of rejuvenated, a lot of cool stuff happening. And then CWL Seattle, which is a big Call of Duty tournament, is happening in Seattle. And I'm going to go attend both of them. And I'm going to play at side stations at the Halo event. And I don't know if I'm going to play the open bracket in CWL Seattle. But I'm going to go view and play on side stations at both of them. But the cool thing about this is that means esports is entering the Pacific Northwest. And esports has specifically normally been Central or East Coast most of the time. It's always been on that side of the United States. And as someone who lived in Alaska and is now on the West Coast, I've always been kind of detached from those events and communities. So I'm really excited to see it finally coming over here. But it also kind of puts out that esports is becoming more of a national thing. You know, there's talks about esports coming to the Olympics. The esports is pushing to the West Coast. I see in like the next decade, esports kind of taking over. Is a huge, major thing. So it's definitely really growing in size each and every year. I personally, I'm pretty out of the esports realm because I play the way I play video games personally is for fun, relaxation, taking my mind off of the everyday life. It's a stress reliever. While you are on the other side of the other side of the perspective.
Yeah, I enjoy watching CS, even though I don't play much CS. I stream it every once in a while just for fun because I'm killing time. I play a little bit of Gears, not too much on the competitive side. I've always played Call of Duty, and I always got really into Search and the competitive side of that. And then, out of disinterest for World War II, I've got my Xbox again, and I've just been playing Halo because I've always been a Halo kid, and I love.
I'm still upset with you with that move.
Yeah, so
you don't have $150 for an Xbox?
No, I don't. I have even less money now.
Man.
So what saved up. I should also mention, I don't know if I mentioned this on the last podcast, but I got rid of my PS4 and I went over to Xbox. I'm doing Xbox full time now because I'm playing Halo. I can still play Call of Duty over there. JD's not happy with that, but
no, because Xbox is super cheap and all the games are super cheap. You could have saved $50 a month.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying.
Had the Xbox in 3 months. You know, you put an extra 10. Each month away for a game that you wanted, such as Halo, and you're golden.
I don't know. I like this Xbox more than I liked my PS4. My PS4 was aggravating. It was slow. It was clunky. It was just an ugly console. It collected dust so easily. The UI was frustrating. Like the main menu themes were loud and kind of obnoxious. Xbox is slick. It doesn't collect dust. It's quiet. Doesn't sound like a jet engine. The UI is nice. The games play well. I like the controller better. And I'm playing a more variety of games on the Xbox because I've always been primarily online.
I can agree with you on the noise factor.
Yeah. I just think Xbox and also internet. It runs internet so much better. The connections to any games are way better. I think Xbox and Xbox Live are just better tech and better services.
That has been the case for better part of a decade.
And for the type of gamer that I am, those are some more of the important things for me personally. So.
Well, then your reasoning is justified, but I'm still upset that you went with the inferior console.
Well,
and the inferior gaming console to be general right now. It is 3rd place out of 3.
Yeah, but I don't think really the placement of the consoles really matter. I think it's all about the games and what you enjoy playing. So.
Oh well. This is why I'm the PlayStation Nintendo guy right now. You're the Xbox guy.
I'm the Xbox Nintendo guy.
I guess we are both Nintendo now.
Yeah, I still have a Switch.
Yeah, you do have your Switch. We're both hyped for what's coming out in 2018.
My internet just got throttled.
Yeah, I'm noticing that.
Yeah, no, dude. Ooh.
Typical. It's so typical.
Dude, I hate my ISP so much.
So what made you want to do this whole competitive gaming and going to like an Evo event? What
So like what drove me to go to the events, or what drove me to play competitive online?
Both, man.
Well, so like competitive online was, I played a lot of Call of Duty, with friends, and I think it was always this kind of burning like fire inside of me to be better than everybody, And there was always, playing, my friends on split screen, and then eventually, it just I just continued to look for better players to play. So eventually, especially playing Call of Duty, it led to Game Battles, which is, if you don't know, is a site that MLG runs, and it's online tournaments and ladder systems. So I just continued to keep playing. And then eventually, I'm in my 17 to 18, and where I am now, there was just this place where I look at myself when I'm competing, and I just sit around kind of online, and I just play, and there's no really glory or, something real in that. So the kind of passion to get out, go to the tournament, and, whether I'm just going to get destroyed, which I probably will, or I'll succeed, is putting myself out there, inserting myself into the real community that is out there, with each other, and continuing to kind of better my craft. So I don't think I'm going to, be an amazing player right now.
So it's kind of that strive just for competition and for the fun of competition.
Yeah, for the competition and for, being a part of the community, and
I can relate to that. I'm very much that way with bowling. What I have noticed is ever since I lost my job, and now bowling's kind of my main source of income currently, that I'm not having as much fun with it as I used to, as I generally do, and I'm doing worse because now I'm putting a lot of stress on myself to do better for a lifestyle.
I went through that phase too, and I think I kind of just got through that phase with Halo. It was a lot easier this time around because I kind of knew how to handle it. But looking back at Call of Duty, when it was the only thing I was doing and I was constantly striving to get better, I had to basically there were these times where I just got terrible at the game, and I didn't know why I was doing terrible, but I just couldn't win, and it was me overthinking, it was me stressing. And I just kind of had to get emotionally through it so I could, get some composure. And it had a lot to do with confidence and relaxation and understanding that it didn't matter. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, being that you are the competitive guy, there was some more news that came out, kind of speculation news mostly, with the upcoming game of 2018, the big one, Anthem.
Oh.
A game we both are pretty hyped about, but we're very worried about mostly.
I'm very intrigued about this game, but in my head, this game is a microtransaction dumpster fire until proven otherwise.
So with all the current issues going on with those companies, especially in today's gaming market, yes, it is guilty until proven innocent right now.
Right.
There are rumors that the game is having a lot of trouble in development already. There's a lot of spitfire being thrown between the developer and publisher, which is never a good sign.
Well, I mean, a game that ambitious is definitely going to have issues because you're going to have a studio that creatively that wants to just be even more ambitious, and then you're going to have a production company that wants certain things, by default, money-wise. So there's going to be a lot
they want those microtransactions to bleed more money out of its base.
Right.
There's two very alarming things, and this is why I'm segueing into Anthem with you and your competitive Evo talk.
Right.
Evo.
So, I love how it's called Evo is a fighting game thing. Competitive esports, I think, is the right word.
All right, esports. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Thank you. Again, I'm not totally part of that community or even part at all.
All we're doing
Yeah. One issue that is brought up, and for the record, I watch a lot of game critic YouTubers like Angry Joe and Jim Sterling, and just to throw a couple names out there, Generally because I like their opinions. They seem to be very... Yes, they kind of overdo it a lot of the times to, be that personality, but their opinions I do generally agree with. Their worries, their a lot of the issues they bring up, and one of them in particular was from Jim Sterling. He was in contact, and there was a guy that found a lot of patents EA had filed for the I'm not too familiar with the term, but it's like fixed matchmaking.
Oh, this isn't EA. This is Activision.
Well, EA filed the patents, and Activision is through EA. As far as I might be mistaken on this. But
I think you are. Activision filed the patents. I remember this was a big thing because this was affecting Call of Duty primarily. It was a system that was basically, if I'm correct, it paired certain player skills together with high player skills with DLC items to try and force the less good players to get the items, because they thought to basically manipulate them into getting better DLC by just getting destroyed by better players.
Correct. That was one patent from Activision. The EA one I'm speaking of for the mixed matchmaking is kind of a different animal. What it does is, and some people say, no, it's just typical ranked matches. So what will happen is, let's say you're playing a fighting game like Street Fighter, mm-hmm. and you're in the online lobby. Right. You go, your record out of 3 matches is win-win loss. You have a 2-3 record, right? Mm-hmm. Generally, you'll gain enough, let's say, points to move up a rank, to play more people at your skill level. Sounds fair, right?
Yeah.
What EA is doing is something that's, in my opinion, just downright dirty and sleazy. It's genius, but dirty and sleazy. So this is what it does. Say that you have that win-win loss record now.
Right. So you got 2
EA filed a patent for like some sort of algorithm to move up. You'll move up a level as you would.
Right.
And let's say your next round is a win-win loss again.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of continuing moving up that rank, the algorithm will kick in saying this is the percentage that the player will be retained to keep that record. So as opposed to keep playing better players, you play players that are more around your skill level to manipulate your rank accordingly.
Right.
So what this will lead to is, if you go then win-win-win, you'll in fact move down to continue that streak to get you to keep playing more. It's like this retention algorithm. That's what it is. So
here's the thing about that.
It's a very interesting article I recommend reading. It's genius.
Definitely. The actual core competitive community will just destroy that immediately. What they'll end up doing is they'll just, Call of Duty did the same thing with game battles. They'll just have an outsourced system for the actual competitive ladders.
So you bring up a good point with if fighting games were to... This is the difference, though. Fighting games have a fighting game community. The casual player at this point, I feel, don't play fighting games anymore.
No, his fighting game is just a sweaty... if I wanted to play a fighting game, I can't go into that game as casual and begin to learn unless I really, really put my heart and soul into it, because I'm just going to get destroyed.
I'm in the same realm. Just as an example, in Street Fighter V, as a casual low-level player, if the first few months the game came out, I went into an online lobby, thought I'd be pit up against other players at my skill level immediately, and as I would get better, I'd be going up. However, this is an example of a broken ranking system. As an unranked player, I would be finding myself playing against guys in the thousands and then just get wrecked. That doesn't make me want to keep playing. So segues
there's another issue. There's
this retention algorithm that EA wants to develop.
Well, then another issue with these games is that they're not good enough to get a huge amount of players playing and retaining those players. That's another issue. Street Fighter V was not a good game. The only people you're going to retain are the people that are the best. Not on release, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're already screwed because all you have is really good players, you know?
So I'm like, I see how dirty this future algorithm could be, but I do see the benefit in it for a casual player such as myself as a fighting. Let's just keep with the fighting game as an example.
Right.
Me losing a lot isn't going to make me want to keep playing. But all of a sudden, if you like sneak in, like, let's say a dumb AI in there and have me win a couple times, all of a sudden I'm like, hey, I can win some games every now and again.
Well, then that's not the mindset you're supposed to have when you're playing esport and ranked modes. The mindset is that I got destroyed, so I did something wrong. Right?
No, but
so I have to be better.
But the mindset is for to keep a casual audience. Therefore, it will grow and more people will play and stay playing. They're basically saying screw the top level players because we can get more money out of this larger base that isn't playing currently.
Right. I think Halo did well with that because what they have is, how's it going, Rubik? They have what they have for Halo is that they have the ranked arena playlist and then they have the social playlist. Social is that's updated every week. All kinds of fun stuff, and then they have the ranked playlist for the sweaty stuff, and you can rank bronze, and you'll play against bronze. The mindset in ranked, and this is what a lot of video games are going against lately, is that they keep telling the players that they keep handholding. Yeah, exactly, Hickey. They're handholding the players, trying to make it easy for them. When you're doing a competitive game, your mindset should be, I screwed up, I need to do something better. You go into theater mode, you watch your footage, you take notes, you say, I did this wrong, I need to do that better, and you need to adapt. They keep trying to paddle these ranking systems with, like, colors and medals to try and make it look different. But what a competitive system should be, and I think World War II did this really well, and I'm really happy with them for that. It's one of the things I'm happy with their ranked play. It had some issues, but by your name, it literally had your leaderboard rank. And that's what it should be. A ranked play, you can segment those and put a little star next to the name for whatever rank, but it should just be an MMR leaderboard. So
I don't disagree at all with what you're saying. But do you understand like the possibility behind this?
I do understand the possibility behind it, but then if that thing goes into play, if that algorithm, it is no longer a ranked play mode. It is just it's a skill-based matchmaking social playlist.
Yes.
Yep.
I do think it is. I do applaud the the underhanded geniusness.
All the studios right now, all the big publishers, they're screwing with these matchmaking algorithms to make themselves more money. Activision's doing it. EA is doing it. I think Ubisoft is doing something for Assassin's Creed for a multiplayer mode. That just allow them
I don't play Assassin's Creed for any multiplayer, and I don't think most players do.
Well, Assassin's Creed 3 had a huge multiplayer. Like a lot of people loved those multiplayers. Assassin's Creed 4. Everybody's trying to manipulate these the casual players into giving money and thinking they're good.
They want them to stick around longer and make them feel better about themselves. So I thought it was a very interesting article. Jim Sterling had a very good piece on it himself. I can't disagree with anything he said, as usual, right. As is the guy. But it does make me worried about Anthem. It makes me, and in turn, because I think it's going to be across consoles, if I'm not mistaken.
Is Anthem a competitive game?
It's being set to be this competitive world game. It reminds me a lot of Destiny 2.
Destiny 2, but does it have an arena-based, like, esport push?
I don't know much about it. I think it's heading in that direction. If what we're hearing out of the company and development, it seems to be heading in that direction.
That makes me even more interested in the game, personally. I think Anthem would be a great game to have, the world things. I think they could do a Battle Royale integration to Anthem. Like, I think there's a lot.
Oh, don't even get me started on Battle Royale. Everything's going to have that. And
everything will. Slowly, I know Paladins is making a Battle Royale game right now. It's extremely profitable. I think Fortnite is doing the best job at it right now. But
I think it's a better game for sure.
I think
PUBG.
Yeah, that's a society problem. But yeah, I think Fortnite is the best because right now I think their microtransaction system is fantastic. It is cosmetic only, and it's not RNG, and it doesn't actually affect the gameplay. And then that game is just fun. You know, it's got tons of style. It's got good, quick, gameplay. Young people, yeah, and definitely the society mindset that everybody is a winner, right? Everybody gets a medal. That is bleeding into games and competitive games. I think esports was great for a while because what it originated was this, because there were no coaches and there was no big, presence. It was this, hey, if you're bad, and you lost, and I really liked it for that and it was brutal because the community wasn't going to pat you on the back for trying. They were just going to curse you out and say you were garbage. And so there was a lot of, but it's getting bigger and bigger, and you have a lot of kids, jumping in. You can go into Call of Duty now and go onto the game battles ladders, and all these 6-year-olds are like, I'm the best player in the game when they're terrible. All they've done is play a lot of the game, and the game just feeds them wins. And it's embarrassing.
Bro, that's just confidence for those 6-year-olds, man.
The 6-year-olds are garbage.
I bet they could beat my ass because I was garbage. You saw it firsthand.
You could beat them.
I don't know.
Give me 2 hours, I'll coach you, and then you'll destroy it.
Dude, I don't want to be coached at Call of Duty. I don't care that much. Oh boy. It's very interesting to see where 2018 leads now in gaming, especially with the fallout of microtransactions, the fallout of these matchmakings coming into play.
Yeah. Hickey said MLG Drew. I have an MLG 2.0 scuff controller in the mail right now. And I'm going to 2 MLG events here in 2 months. So yeah, MLG Drew.
You know what I did get gaming related wise for the holidays? A little present to myself.
What'd you get?
A Steam Link.
Oh, nice.
How's that? It's just a little box. It's like my own little Steam console, but my PC's still going, but
make pew 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 great again. Well, there's definitely a conversation to be had as esports kind of expands, and console esports versus PC esports.
Esports.
It's there's a lot of people don't like console esports because they're PC master race or whatever. I really like console esports because I think it makes it very accessible to users.
Sure.
I hate the idea that console companies can buy exclusivity for the esports. Call of Duty should be an Xbox esport, and PlayStation just purchased it. I think that's stupid because it's hard, especially for looking at the AM players, the amateur players. They all have to sell all their stuff. They have to get a new console. It makes it difficult for them.
Well, I don't know, man. It does make sense for PlayStation currently to have that because, let's face it, the Xbox console is not a worldwide thing, and they want to make esports a worldwide thing. And right now, PlayStation, especially the PS4, is a worldwide console.
Right. But
nobody in Asia, nobody in Asia has an Xbox.
Right, but then again, Asia
relatively
they don't do console esports, and they really don't do that many shooters. That's a very American thing. North America and Europe, they do the console esport, shooter.
Yeah, but Europe has PlayStation 4s. They don't have Xbox.
They don't have Xboxes?
No, Xbox does not sell well comparatively to PS4.
Well, right. No, that's true.
Xbox is a very North American console. They know what they're doing in this market.
When it comes to esport viewing, I don't think that matters because they'll still pull in viewers just because it's a sport and people know what Halo is and they watch the sport even if they don't have an Xbox, right? I did the same when I had my PlayStation. I still watched Halo. I think we're talking about the players because if you want to be a amateur Halo player, you're going to buy an Xbox. If you want to be an amateur Gears player, you're going to buy a Xbox.
So
I think, but the problem with Call of Duty is when you have, especially 2 years after. So how it went, Call of Duty Ghosts came out, was an Xbox One, esports game. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare came out, Xbox esports. This is about 2 years into the life cycle of the new gen consoles. You have all the new, the amateur players looking to go pro in Call of Duty, all on Xbox. And right there in the middle, they just switched to PlayStation. They screwed up their entire community. That's why I just thought that was a terrible move because you had all these people I have to switch to PlayStation now. Especially these people who've been on Xbox their entire life. So, I think that definitely hurt the console. Also, console sales. I think that hurt the console a lot in players.
I'm glad you brought up console sales. It wasn't too long ago we were talking about Nintendo Switch sales.
Mm-hmm.
The console has sold now more in 10 months than the Wii U ever sold in its lifetime.
See, the Wii U was a garbage console. I'm sorry. I hated the Wii U.
It's such a... I mean, I like the Wii U personally. I don't like the way... I don't like the way it was presented. I didn't like the marketing, the amount of games that came out at first. It really hurt everything about the console. Mm-hmm. And looking at the Nintendo Switch, they're doing the total opposite. They're coming out with a major IP every month to keep it going. It's quite remarkable the turnaround Nintendo's doing. And the fact that the Switch is selling this much actually surprises me as well, especially coming after the Wii U.
Well, no. So what you need to look at for the Switch is, while it's a good console, the games they have lined up are incredible. Honestly, the game lineup they have on it.
It's been phenomenal.
Yes, it's been absolutely incredible. Like, and with the Direct, I just looked at the news. Like, oh my goodness, the Switch is the best console right now to have.
It is,
and not because tech, but because games. They're doing games, not tech, and that's what I love about it.
And games sell consoles. I am incredibly worried about Xbox, which you posed this question on me earlier. Do I want Xbox to fail?
Yeah.
Because I am heavily negative on Xbox as a console, a gaming console, Microsoft as a company and how they go about it. I'm heavily negative on it. Do I want them to fail? Absolutely not, because I want competition. So let's segue this into the leaks.
Microsoft has, and let's recap on the Xbox
sure.
One. So Xbox One got revealed. They're like, hey, you can watch cable TV on your Xbox. And in the Xbox One, what the idea with the how they sold the Xbox One was they were saying this is the one device that runs your living room, right? It does everything. And they never really did big games. They never were like, hey, it plays these games. So, and PlayStation, on the other hand, went on stage and they were like, hey, we have these cool games. So everybody's like, hey, let's get the PlayStation because it's a game console, not a cable box. And that's where Xbox screwed themselves over. They shot themselves in the foot on the stage. They fired their CEO, and then they brought Phil Spencer along, who I think is a really good CEO, and he's working hard for Xbox. Their first big push, they started doing the new consoles, the Xbox One S, the Elite. They started pushing a lot of peripherals in tech, which was an interesting idea. I think it works if you're working games as hard at the same time, which they still are having issues with. They did backwards compatibility, which was a huge thing. It was unique, and it sold well. A lot of people like it. And then, last E3, they announced the Xbox One X and more backwards compatibility and a couple games. But like we said, games sell consoles. Consoles don't sell games. The Xbox One X is awesome. It's the most powerful console in the world. I have a friend who has it. But there's just not much to play on it. Or there's plenty to play on it, but not much the Xbox is talking about. And that's the big issue, right? They need to now launch some incredible games that'll work out. But luckily,
yeah, I mean, top of your head, right now, what's from now until let's say the summer? Do we know what's coming out for Xbox?
Exclusively or in general?
Let's go first exclusively.
Okay, let me Google. Off the top of my head, I know Sea of Thieves is coming out, right?
Okay, that's one.
That's a big one. I'm pretty sure there's some RPG. Xbox One exclusives.
So you mentioned Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, I am so excited for. I played it at E3.
I hope it's good.
Oh my goodness,
for
it
you
is
guys.
So much fun.
It doesn't look like it's a game that belongs in the most powerful console.
Right? I love how they're like Xbox One X. Here's a new skin pack for Minecraft. I love that. Like, let's make the worst games just look a little more colorful.
Now, I got to play Assassin's Creed Origin on the Xbox One X, and good God, that game is beautiful.
Oh, dude. Like, Xbox One... Like, don't get me wrong. The Xbox One X is an incredible machine. So, Crackdown 3 is coming. Nasuki Chronicle. It's one of their JRPGs coming. They're also making a big JRPG push because they want to get the Japanese market, which is really smart of them.
I don't know, man. I think it's a lost cause at this point.
They have 3 Japanese RPGs pending. Yes, State of Decay 2. So those are the big 3 right now. So we got Crackdown 3, Sea of Thieves, and State of Decay. So all 3 great games, honestly. You know.
Well, they haven't come out yet, man. You don't know that.
Well, we've seen a lot of them. You know, we've seen a lot of those games. But I can say, I'm personally going to say, none of these games are going to be terrible. They're all going to be good to great games.
I think they're going to be solid, but they're not going to. They're not the kind of games that will be in any sort of top 10 game of the year. I feel.
I think Sea of Thieves might hit it.
I think we might. I think there's more hype. I think there's more hype coming out at the end of the month with Monster Hunter World alone than those at least 2 of those games combined.
No, I think Sea of Thieves is very hyped. It's been on the down low because they haven't talked about it recently, but that is Rare's new IP, and Rare is a very renowned studio. Like, a lot of people are super excited.
Rare used to be a renowned studio.
Yeah, but they haven't really done anything. But now they're doing this. So there's a lot of hype behind this game.
There was that leak coming out that you mentioned
okay, yeah, so we should talk about that as well. So there is this leak that came out. It's from a very well-known leaker. He leaks Microsoft E3 shows, funny enough, and they're pretty much always accurate. So he leaked the games that Xbox has in development. Forza Horizon 4, he confirmed is going to be in Japan, which I think is really cool for especially a Forza game. I think it might look incredible.
Horizon is a solid franchise.
Yeah, but especially
Forza 7 kind of blew that load with me a few months ago. And
I never liked the sim driving games. I always like arcadey ones, and Horizon is just always amazing because it's beautiful and it's fun and it's arcadey. Japan, I think, is going to be an incredible setting, especially if they do it. They mix the beautiful scenery with the super neon city. You know, they mix that all well. It could be an absolutely beautiful game, especially on the Xbox One X. That could be just mind-blowing to see. Fable 4 is in development. That's what he said, which is huge. That could be huge. Fable is a fantastic franchise. What else did he say? Oh, yes. Coalition, the Gears of War studio, are doing a reboot of Perfect Dark. And that's a big one because that is a new IP for Xbox currently. And
it's
not really a new IP.
It's an IP they're coming back with.
They're coming back with Coalition. So here's the big thing in between it right now. He said Coalition is doing Perfect Dark. Coalition the same day put up a page on their website saying Coalition is working on a new IP, and then they took it down immediately. So,
because it's not technically a new IP.
It's not a new IP, but maybe he's wrong with it, or I don't really know. I'm kind of frustrated. While I do like to see Perfect Dark, I think that's awesome. I'm kind of frustrated that is the IP they're working on. I think Xbox has their shooters.
I'd be more worried about. Right, Xbox needs more shooters. Is that what they really need? No, they need more variety.
Right, they need more variety.
But Perfect Dark, I feel, if it's done right, Perfect Dark could be a step in the right direction. Because, yes, Xbox is a first-person, third-person shooting console.
You know what Xbox should do?
That's the identity that it has.
What could make Xbox E3 incredible is they say, hey, they open the show, Forza. They're like, hey, Forza. They put down Fable 4, and then throughout the rest of the show, they just go new IP, new IP, new IP, new IP, new IP, new IP, and then they close with Halo, with the side. Because that's also, they said there's two Halo games in development. Yeah, no, I don't think they're going to do a ton of new IPs. I think we might have 2 new IPs. Because they do know they need to do that, but I don't think they've had enough time to do it. They did say 2 new Halo games are in development. Projects, different ideas for Halo games, which could mean there's a side Halo game, like ODST, which was incredible, by the way, which would be really interesting. And then Halo 6 is probably the other one. They also mentioned there being big player counts, which could allude to a Battle Royale mode, which I think would work fantastically on Halo. But right now, these are big leaks because these are big games, right? Fable 4 would be a huge title for the Xbox. You know, Forza Horizon 7, big title. Halo is huge. But having something like, Perfect Dark or new things that are intriguing on that console would just blow it out of the water, right? It'd help start selling consoles, and that's what they need right now. So
well, Nintendo's coming up on their ass fast, and a lot faster than they probably anticipated.
Yeah.
Your mention of Perfect Dark being made by the Gears guys has me worried for just one particular reason, and that's because Gears is a cover shooter, and it's a very, at this point, it's kind of a standard cover shooter where you have a zigzag behind barriers, motion, shoot the guys, duck.
I think it'll be unique. First of all, I find it really interesting that Coalition
I hope
is
it's
doing
not
this,
that,
because Coalition was founded as a studio to solely do Gears of War games, and now they're doing. I just find that really interesting. You know, Coalition it's named after Gears of War, so I just find it funny that they're doing Perfect Dark. But I personally don't think they're going to do a huge shooter push on Perfect Dark. I think it's going to be a story game, because I think Xbox
if
knows,
it's like a story James Bond type of game. For sure, because that's kind of what the first one was.
Xbox knows they can't just throw more shooters into the fire. At least I hope they do. So I don't think that. I think it'll be shooter, but I don't think this is going to be a big multiplayer shooter. I think it'll have a multiplayer component. But
Perfect Dark was famous back in the day for its multiplayer aspect being better than GoldenEye. It was a better game and better multiplayer than GoldenEye. It just didn't have that addicting factor, because James Bond was well known. Perfect Dark was not. But everyone who played Perfect Dark knew it was a better game. And it holds up.
Keep in mind, these are all leaks, so it might not be Perfect Dark. But the fact that Coalition did put up an article on their website saying we are working on a new IP and then taking it down means they are working on something that is new. So whether it is Perfect Dark or not, we don't know. So they're all leaks. I believe it's fun.
It's fun leak, and it's fun leak speculation.
Right.
Our 2018 hopes, at least for me, is Xbox knocks it out of the park at this coming E3, because I want competition.
Yep.
That will keep Nintendo and Sony wanting to do better.
Right.
Just for a crazy leap of an example.
Right.
WWE wrestling. During the 90s, it had WCW to compete against, and both had to strive to do better, otherwise they would sink under the pressure.
Yeah.
Without that competition, we get what WWE is nowadays, where it's just this bland product. It's the same thing week after week.
Yeah.
If Sony doesn't... Luckily, Nintendo's back, so it can have its own little competition.
Right.
If Sony doesn't have Xbox as a competitor, then there just won't be that strong.
And they're already sinking into that. If you look closely, they're already sinking into that. They're just kind of doing their own thing now, and
they're just kind of going with it. Yeah, right. Just for 2018 speculation and what we're hyped for.
Xbox, what they need to do is they need to do a good job at alerting people that they are there. Something that I noticed when I got an Xbox, it was really, really cheap. The Xbox One S, which is, by the way, the second iteration of the Xbox One, which is a better console, runs things better, has 4K player in it. Like, it's a really good console, and it's really, really cheap. It's only $150, $180.
Well, the Xbox One is $150. The S, I think, is still pushing the $250 range.
No, I bought my Xbox One S for $179.99.
Oh, because I was just at GameStop the other day, and I asked, and the guy checked for me. He said it was around $250.
Maybe that's because they have a ton of different hard drive level for their consoles.
I guess you got the 500 gig version?
I got 500 gig. But another cool thing about Xbox is I can plug in any USB. I can put in like a thumb drive and load a game onto it. So, unlike PlayStation where you have to...
No, Xbox as a console is very, very affordable right now. I wish there was more exclusive games.
Yeah.
To really drive that home.
But I think they know that, and I think that that's going to be their big push.
As a fun little thing, I want a couple games you want this year. You're looking forward to. You can even stick with Xbox One if you want.
Just a couple games that I'm looking forward to. Far Cry 5. I'm very, very, very excited for.
Okay, that's coming out on Xbox.
Far Cry 4 co-op, so much fun. So excited for this game.
Yeah,
It's
going
to be a blast. Sea of Thieves, I'm really excited for. I think it's so much fun to play, and it's so charming. A game that I think we might get in the fall. And by the way, before I get really into this stuff, I just want to say out of the leak, it is a leak, so it's not, confirmed. Out of the leaks that I do think are true, because it is a credible leak, I do think Forza Horizon is going to be in Japan. I think it makes sense. because I think that's going to be a big game that they're going to be putting on the Xbox One X. Because as well as E3 is, I think they're going to be pushing big games. I think they're also going to be pushing things that look pretty on the X because they need to. So I think that's going to be their big push. I think it's going to open, in E3, and it's going to be some crazy thing in Tokyo, and then it's going to go out to the country. It's going to be beautiful, It's Forza. I think Fable 4 is 100% in development. That is a huge franchise that they have, and they know that people like it, and so they're putting money into it. So I think Fable 4 is 100% being developed. The Perfect Dark thing, I don't know. I really don't know. I do know. I do believe Coalition is doing a new IP because they kind of confirmed it themselves. I don't know if it's Perfect Dark. That seems like a crazy one. But, if it is, that's awesome. I do think 2 Halo games are in development. One of them is Halo 6, confirmed. And then one of them is either Halo 3 Remastered, which I could believe is a thing, or they're doing another side Halo game like ODST or Reach, which I think would be fantastic for 343, is they want to do their own thing and make their own storyline. I think they might be doing a side Halo game, which will either release this fall or next fall. Okay. Halo 6 is either a 2019 game or a 2020 game. It's either 2019 unless they release a standalone Halo game. And the standalone Halo game could be either this fall in 2018, which would be, by the way, if they said at E3 this year, Halo game comes out this fall, that would be huge. Especially if they make a side Halo game that, again, pushes these really beautiful landscapes for the Xbox One X. Be huge. And I personally think that we are going to get a Halo game this fall just for the Xbox One X because Halo sells.
Something needs to come out in the latter half of this year. After besides the 3 titles you mentioned earlier on the cast.
Right. I think we're going to get a Halo game this fall, but then again, that's kind of crazy because they haven't started, putting out ads for it or anything. But this year or next year, we're going to get a Halo, and then Halo 6 will come out after that. So I do believe that there is a Halo. Whether there's a Battle Royale component attached to that, I don't know. I mean, I'm like, right. Yeah, if you want to do it, I would love to play it. That'd be fun. I think anything works at this point. But Xbox, I think they have a lot to do this year. But I think that they can 100% do it. So, yeah. Because all the studios, we don't know what they're working on.
Yeah.
As far as Xbox goes, we don't know anything.
Yeah. For me personally, just from the PS4 side, not counting Monster Hunter World, because that comes out in just a couple weeks. Just for the future,
I've spoken play it on an Xbox too. So
yes. It's not a PS4 exclusive by any means, but
it's just got DLC and the betas.
Right. So you know what direction they're leaning towards.
Right.
I'm heavily looking forward to Detroit Become Human now, especially after the one of the guys was tweeting at us over Twitter personally that all of my worries are not a thing.
Me and him were having a conversation on Twitter, and one of the developers for Become Human just joins the conversation. We didn't tag any of them, but he was just there, so we were like, "All right, this works." And he assured us.
I was like, and then I started asking him questions about my worries over the game and they were I feel they were very very much there, especially after the Beyond Two Souls debacle. He assured me that it is not Beyond Two Souls, and none of those problems are a thing. So now that's top of my list.
I'm very intrigued by that game as well.
Still very much Dreams is... I'm very hyped for
the Dreams at all.
It's a very unique game, but if you're into
Project Spark, honestly, that's... Dreams is gonna... I don't think you can sell that game to the current industry. It's gonna have a niche audience, but that's not gonna
it's gonna be heavily niche. I'm part of it for sure.
Yeah.
And I just can't wait for it. It's such a unique game. I love unique games. I love games that bring something different to the table each and every time, and they mean so much more, and then they mean more for gaming down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it becomes a cult classic or it gets rave reviews, that will remain to be seen. I'm still hyped for it, and I can't wait for it.
Well, power to you. I don't care about that game in the slightest.
No, you're not the type of person that would like that, for sure.
No, I would. I enjoyed Project Spark, by the way. I thought it was a good game. But Dreams just looks boring, and we don't know anything about it, and it got revealed and then disappeared and then revealed again, and as far as the games where you create a game, I just think that Dreams doesn't look that appealing, personally. But I could be wrong, so we'll have to see.
It's got a lot of speculation behind it.
A lot.
That's for sure.
We don't know anything about it.
So we're reaching that hour mark. We somehow got enough out of us to talk this long. I had to
restart my stream like 4 times.
Yeah, you've been you've been being hit hard, you might say.
I think am I streaming at 1080p?
No, 720.
Okay. Why does my PC say I'm streaming at 1080 and when I pull up my own Twitch it says I'm streaming at 1080?
Oh man.
My rescale output is 720, but my output.
How about those December games we want to talk about, Drew?
Oh man, I was more interested in the news this week. There wasn't really anything that came out in December that I thought was really interesting.
It was rough. So this will definitely be on the shorter side.
Yeah. Definitely. Is there any other news we want to cover?
No, I don't think so.
Is there anything big that's happening soon?
I mean, there's plenty of things that are happening. I mean, MagFest happened and everything, but it's okay. Let's just get into the games. Okay, that's really what we're all about here.
straight into like the big standalone game that came out this month. Really, the only one is Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Right, it came out on the Switch. The Nintendo fanboys are all over it, saying it's like one of the best RPGs they've ever played. It's very in depth. I can't disagree more with all of these statements regarding the game. I've pumped over 50 hours in the game. I'm over halfway through, and then I just put it down. I had to take a break. So, it's very much in the Xenoblade universe where you're okay. First of all, the game is anime as fuck.
Yeah. It is just complete cliches.
Holy shit.
It is all cliche.
Like, you want to talk about cliche, trope, just seems to be this very unimaginative story, even less imaginative characters, but for some reason... The world's
not even interesting,
But for some reason, you just keep playing it. So let me talk about the good things first.
That was my thing, by the way. I correlate this game with the Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment. It was kind of similar to this game. But I poured a lot of hours into that game for some reason. I don't remember why. But it just was entertaining. The gameplay loop was just entertaining enough to where you didn't realize you enjoyed it, but you kept playing it.
So the good things about the game is the world is incredibly interesting. The battle system is very unique and refined. So what it does is, first of all, the tutorial... No, I said I won't talk about anything bad until I'm done with the good.
First of all, this game is trash.
I didn't say that. Okay. So, the way the battle system works is you can only have 3 members of your party at a time. Okay?
Yeah.
And your character has what's called a blade. Mm-hmm. So, to make it more understandable, let's say you have a Pokemon. Okay?
Right.
You can have up to 3 Pokemon to choose from in a real-time battle system.
Yeah.
In the open world environment. So you go into battles in an open world. You can fight anywhere from 1 to however many the Switch can handle on screen at a time.
Which is what, 5?
5
or 6.
The aggro system kind of you'll end up running away or what have you and manipulate your position in battle accordingly. So you generally don't have more than 5 enemies on screen at a time.
Right.
Or you'll just die. If too many enemies come, you'll just die that quick kind of thing. So you have your... I will stick with the Pokemon analogy for this moment.
Yeah.
Your Pokemon, as the game knows as blades, will be... You'll be swinging your sword or weapon, right?
Right.
And it's in an auto system.
Yep.
Okay? During the midpoints of this system of auto swinging, there's 3 points. You got your light, medium, and heavy. And it'll go in that sequence.
So it's kind of like a real-time action game mixed with RPG elements, kind of like Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah, well, it's very much... it reminded me a lot of how Final Fantasy 12 started with a lot of that.
Right.
And its system. And yes, it's kind of like Final Fantasy 15, except it's an auto attack.
Right.
So what you can do is interrupt these auto attacks and trigger your Pokemon to have a special attack.
Yeah.
Okay? And your Pokemon will have 3 different attacks to choose from. and then a master special. Okay. What you do from there is you have to choose between those 3 special attacks to fill up the bar for the master special.
Right.
And then your master special will gain levels of that specific attack, and it'll change the master attack. So you have 3 levels of that. You following me so far?
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to RPGs, I really like gameplay mechanics like this because I personally am not a huge fan of turn-based RPGs. I get bored sometimes. There are some ones that are really good, but games like these, they implement this real-time action system where I'm running around and stabbing dudes with RPG elements if I want to, right? Sometimes you need them, but like I can choose if I want to do it or not. So
it has that system. So that's the bare bones of that. You only control one character, and in the midst of battle, when your 2 other party members, they'll attack in their own little auto attack fashion, and then you'll have their specials come up accordingly. The enemy weaknesses are just like what you expect out of Pokemon. Fire beats grass kind of thing.
So it's just a rock paper
water beats fire.
System.
It's a more in-depth rock paper scissors system. Where it gets more complicated is when you have what's called seal attacks. So the enemy will have their own certain special moves, and you can seal their attacks by having it's kind of like this pyramid system. So if you trigger your pyramid system for sealing attacks is on a 3-level system. You need a level 1 to level 1 according to the element. Get that, and then you trigger it you trigger the pyramid, and you can continue up the pyramid by triggering a level 2 special. So
it's basically like
and
the
then
original
a level 3
D&D
special.
games. You have that system that continues as long as you chain it. It just gets more and more powerful. But you have to be consistent about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then upon successfully doing all 3 levels of the pyramid, you seal your opponent's attack. And then what you can do then is during this, another bar is up at your top left where you have a team-based attack. And the objective for tougher enemies is to seal a couple attacks, perform the team-based attack. It's called a chain attack. And you try to do that rock, paper, scissors motion again to break the seal, and it'll cause a ton of damage. The amount of shit going on the screen and all these system and bars is insane. It takes up the whole thing.
That's what I really hated about this game, is because I just couldn't tell what's going on screen. And a lot of JRPGs are like that. It's just like, you do this, you do this, you trigger that just character trope, and then everything happens on screen. And it's complicated, it's confusing, and it's just a bit much.
Yeah, it's a mess. So I'm a fan of the battle system. The tutorial does its best to try to explain it all to you. But it's very much overly complicated in their explanation. So you just kind of, I implore people to actually look up how-to videos on YouTube. No, I wish they just, because JRPGs they just put up they're like, hey, use your special ultra attack, and then they just pause the game and it's just like piece of paper shows up. And it's like, hey, do this, and that. I wish you just put up a YouTube video. It's so confusing. Because then you're like, okay, I'm just going to run in and do my super ultra sword attack. Yeah. So, the battle system in the open world, once you get the hang of it, the game is incredibly addicting. Some of the side quests and monster hunts are fun in itself. However, I got to get into the negatives of this game now.
Oh, it's because it's not a good game, right?
I'd say it's an average game at best.
Gotcha.
Yes, it has very addicting elements to it. I'm very much addicted to it. Do I like the game itself? Not really.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of it either. I just want to let that know. I didn't play much of it, but I didn't like it. I didn't have much fun, which is sad because I was really excited for it.
So the game, you're this super bland young orphan character, of course.
Yeah, with brown hair.
He gets caught up in this like grand world-ending conspiracy, so that's nothing new. You know,
pretty much.
Yeah, he finds the thing that will destroy the world, but of course it's a hot anime girl in scantily clad clothing who is a blade. He basically becomes her Pokemon. There's a pseudo lame ass love story developing between the two.
Yeah. It's basically like JD could stop talking right now and you would know how the rest of the story went. It's predictable and just basic.
You definitely do not play it for the story. One of the characters that joins your party is a cat girl, and they have banter with like how young she looks, and she's got her little Pokemon friends that with her. You meet one of the animal creatures in the world who's an engineer who makes a lolicon made robot who's clearly his fetish. There's even a cutscene in the game where like you think the cops are busting in on him and his grandfather and father building this fetish robot. I mean, I posted pictures of the beginning of this game
I saw it.
On Twitter.
Just funny. It's
so ridiculous. Dumb. So, I mean, there's supposed to be there's these like heartfelt warming moments that are supposed to be heartfelt warming, immediately kicked with lame anime jokes like, "Oh, your breasts are big." Or your breasts are too small.
It reminds me of there was that one Spider-Man game. It was like the one where there was like time machines, and it was like super overly dramatic. And you would have these cutscenes where it's just like really like romantic and dramatic. But then if you put on like one of your corny costumes where he had like the Venom costume and he had these just giant teeth sticking out of his face, you would watch these cutscenes and they would all be like dramatic and stuff. But it would just be this dude with giant teeth, and it'd be awkward and it'd be strange. That's what this game was. It was just awkward.
One of my there's a few major gripes I have with like putting the lame story aside and the lame characters. Okay, there's a lot to gripe about with the game. First of all, your Pokemon/Blade system is based off random draw.
Right.
So you have common blades and rare blades, and what you have to do is you have to activate it with certain characters. What the game doesn't tell you is you have a finite amount of this specific item to change blades to certain characters. So think of like Pokemon trading. Imagine you can only trade that Pokemon twice, ever.
Right. Which just completely defeats the purpose.
Right. On top of the fact that it's a random draw. So the rarest blades, the ones that actually matter in the game, are unique characters. I've only gotten 8 to date out of the possible like 40 that you can get.
Yeah.
Out of this random rare draw. So the draw system is incredibly broken. What it wants you to do is fight unique monsters in the wild and you beat them and get more rare blades to try and get that random draw.
Right.
That's the whole motivation behind that. However, this is where then this other gripe comes into. Throughout each world, monsters are scattered, but they're scattered very randomly. So you could be... The best example is in the opening tutorial level area. There's like a bunch of level 4, 6, 11s, right? Everywhere. And in the middle of it, there's like a level 76.
That is like the day one Destiny. The first week of Destiny, you'd be running around all these level 1 monsters, and then there's just this ridiculous monster that one-taps you. That you can't even dream of beating. And
you can't dream of beating it, and because it's this big creature, it aggroes you super easy from this incredible distance, and then you just get one-shotted and back to the start. And you're like, fuck! I did all that work and all to be reset.
Yep.
There's certain missions in the game, main missions, that you have to pass through these areas with these overpowered creatures that you're just not ready for. I don't agree with that at all. There's side missions that are blocked by abilities that you don't get until I've completed 7 chapters out of the 10 in this game, and I still can't complete half of the side missions.
Right. I'm having issues over here.
Yeah. I can't podcast with my cat in the same room. The cat just attacks cords and everything.
No, my cat just it's been sleeping in my bed for like the last couple hours, and now it is decided that it is time for me to give it attention.
It's time for it's attention time, man. Another big gripe about the game is the map system. It has the worst world map I have experienced in a long time. You don't know where you are. You don't know where the mission wants you to go. You have to go into each area has its own separate map that you have to go into, and it's not really looped into each other at all.
Right.
Oh, I can't. My description doesn't do justice on how bad it is.
It's just bad. it's nah. That's Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It was so much potential, but they just screwed. They made it. They didn't put effort into it. Really, that's what I.
No, a lot of effort was put into it.
A lot of effort, but like not
the battle system.
Not a lot of
only
thought.
Though.
Yeah.
It's a game based off of you having fun with the battle system and kind of making your own way about it. It's a very relaxing game. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
But it's not this top. I wouldn't even put it in my top 10 Switch releases this year.
Especially when you can get Skyrim on the Switch now. So
much better game. Yeah.
Much better game.
I mean, Arms is way better than this game.
Right. Yeah.
Arms has it's. I mean, I'm definitely gonna finish the game just to finish it. I do want to. So there is saying that much. The gameplay itself is solid enough for me to continue playing it, but I'm not playing it for the story. I'm not playing it for side missions or anything. I'm not playing it for the world. I just like the battle system and using my Pokemons.
Right.
The ones that I do have.
Once the actual Pokemon Switch game comes out, he will have no more reasons to play it.
Well, yeah, pretty much. So
anyway, let's segue into the next game that I want to start about because I know JD's going to bash it. But the next one, we wanted to talk about the Xbox One release of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which is the big, besides Fortnite now, the big Battle Royale game. Finally came out on Xbox. And I want to just point out immediately, between the release and right now, they have updated it so much and made it run better because it released and it had a lot of bugs. It didn't run well. It was clunky. The game runs at 30 frames per second, which I just think is, especially after playing on PC so long, is kind of awkward. And also for the controller, it has no aim assist. This game has no aim assist, which makes it, for a player like me who plays on my controller a lot, it makes it really easy for me to destroy everybody. Honestly. It's so easy to just destroy people. Because nobody can aim. You have to be very light on the stick. You have to be very calm. It's just very easy. Besides that, it's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. The inventory system isn't as great as PC because you have to cycle through stuff. But it's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It just isn't as graphically powerful, and it runs at 30 frames per second. It's a port. It's a PC port.
I finally did get my hands on it and played a little bit. As Drew, you said before, I'm not the biggest PUBG fan.
PUBG, yeah.
I am on record saying Fortnite is a very much superior game to it.
I have this argument all the time with all my Battle Royale friends. I think Fortnite is a better game. But that comes down to my taste. I like arcadey games, but personally I think Fortnite is more fun because first of all, it's not broken. It doesn't really have any bugs.
Correct.
It's the art style is charming, the world is charming. The game has a lot of heart, in humor with the boogie bombs, and they're constantly adding to the game, giving it updates. The map's way smaller, and the way the gunplay works, it means the game is a lot more fast-paced. There's a lot more action that happens more often. I think it's just more entertaining to play. I've been playing a lot of it on my PC lately.
I totally agree, because when I never had issues actually playing Fortnite, even on Xbox One's PUBG, which I will continue to say, because it's just more fun that way for me.
Gotcha.
When that game is bad, it is bad.
Yeah.
It is downright unplayable at times.
It basically reminds me of PUBG. They just did their big launch update on PC. It's officially launched. The game is a 1.0. It's actually 1.01 now, I think. But beforehand, before the optimization, even though my PC is technically good enough for it, it would run terribly. It essentially ran PUBG how it did it on Xbox One, day one.
Mm-hmm.
Now it runs great. I run it at like 90 frames and it's beautiful and it works because they optimized it finally. But it's on, you can land and some of the textures just haven't loaded. The buildings, you can't go into any buildings because they haven't loaded. Like I have a buddy who has an Xbox One X now, and I'm going to talk to him to see how it runs on there. But I don't know.
For a game that was early access for the better part of all year, I don't deny it's a multiplayer gaming phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't deny that. You can't deny it. It's a fact.
Yeah, it is a fact.
You also, though, can't deny how broken the game is at times.
Yep. But you also kind of have to... That's some of the fun in it, right? I have definitely... Like, me and my buddy, were playing PUBG the other day. We've been playing Fortnite for hours. And we were like, let's go play PUBG. Let's try it. And played a couple games. We didn't win any, but we died multiple times because of bugs in the game that just ended in us just laughing because they were so dumb. There's this one point in time where we were driving.
It's not a good thing, man.
And we went over a hill and we hit a rock with our motorcycle and just exploded. And it was hilarious. There was another time where we were running down this hill. I was trying to get into the car. I got into the car. It ejected me out the windshield, then shot me across the map and killed me. And it was just so ridiculous, but it was funny. So, and I have memories like that in this game that are just like, oh my goodness, this game sucks. That was hilarious.
There are fun moments to be had.
Mm-hmm.
In my experience, it's few and far between. Because if you don't build the stress up yourself,
right,
there's nothing there. Unfortunately, that's just the way I see the game. I am very much on the opposite spectrum of this game, and
right.
for this to release on Xbox One the way it did, even with all these, because I played it post patch. And it still has
It gets patched every other day.
And that's ridiculous. That just shows that it's not ready.
Yep. And it's technically early access on Xbox One, so.
Oh. It's not even officially a game yet. They claim it is, but it still isn't.
Right.
Yeah. But that's what this developer does. They'll continue to do it because they're making money off it.
Tons of money. Yep.
So, anyways, no, if you haven't played PUBG now or Fortnite, it's probably a little bit too late.
No, go play Fortnite.
Or you at least know enough about it for us to not really continue talking about it.
Right. So PUBG on Xbox One. They're talking about going to PS4 here soon as well. So we'll just have to see how that goes.
They need to fix the game,
right? It's a huge game. Even if it's broken, it's a huge game. Lots of money to be made. This next game, I have no idea. I don't know what it is. This is all you. So
all right. So I implore you. Okay. When this game just came out on Steam in December.
Mm-hmm.
Hence December cast. It's called Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
By the way, before we kind of jump fully into this game, I just want to let everybody in the Twitch chat know. Feel free to ask questions or make some input on the stuff we're talking about. So
absolutely.
Yep.
So this game took the YouTube world by storm. It's it's better known as a B game.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cheap. It's on Steam. It first came out published by Humble Bundle.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And now it's out on a more accessible platform, or where more people can get it,
right? Or
want to get it. So, what this is you're a buffed up jack dude stuck in a cauldron in a big pot, okay? And all he has is a sledgehammer pickaxe. Okay. One of the okay, hammer chisel. I'm losing the exact name of it, but
yeah.
The only control you have is moving your mouse.
Right.
To move this hammer to get you over certain obstacles. First obstacle is a tree with certain branches. You move your mouse to give your character momentum to get over the tree. Okay? Right. And the whole game is like that. You can speedrun this game in about less than 4 minutes. But it will take you at least hours upon hours of frustration and rage getting over each of these obstacles. Because what happens is Bennett Foddy's a narrator, and he's giving you like all these quirky little statements about if you don't hate the game, hate the player. If you need to take a break, don't worry, I saved all of your progress and all of your mistakes too. Because there's certain parts of the game where if you miss a certain momentum jump of getting over an obstacle, you might overshoot or undershoot something and go all the way back to the beginning. Or you'll lose a ton of progress. My favorite videos are just like Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, the Game Grumps. They played this game and just rage hard. Markiplier lost his fucking mind playing this. So I was like, all right, I gotta play this game, see all of the fuss is about. I could only play it for about 40 minutes before I'm like, I gotta put this down.
Is it just that aggravating? Is it one of those games?
It is a rage game.
Okay.
And it is the most ragey game you can imagine that I've played in a long... Like, Cuphead made me rage, but I did want to continue playing the game.
Right.
Getting over it I did not get over it.
Well, I'll have to look into it because it sounds interesting.
It's very unique and strange. It's one of the strangest games that has come out in quite some time. But it is so rage-inducing. Right. And the controls alone they're garbage. It takes so much to get used to.
Isn't that something those games do though? Just on purpose? Because it makes the game difficult and more fun in some people's opinion?
I mean, some people could... okay, when you get over certain obstacles that took you like an hour to get over, you're just like, oh, euphoria!
You're right.
Oh, give me all of the dopamine.
There you go. All right. Well,
oh man, yeah. You gotta watch one of these videos just after the podcast. It's ridiculous.
So, simple indie game took the internet by storm, I suppose.
It really did. Again, I couldn't play it for more than 40 minutes before I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
All right. Next, we got A Hat in Time. I've heard a little bit about this. I have not played it, but I've heard plenty about it. So, this was an indie game released on PS4 and Xbox One. It's also on the PC.
Right, it came out on the PC much earlier in the year. We weren't doing the podcast at the time, and we're struggling for games to talk about. But this game is very...
IGN raved about this game.
Oh, it's an homage to like the old GameCube days and action platformers. You're a little girl, and you're just in this... the whole game was started on Kickstarter and only got like $200,000, and they unlike Yooka-Laylee, where it received millions of dollars and came out with a crap game in the end.
Wow.
Below par game, you might say.
That's a low blow.
Hat in Time is solid through and through. It's got a lovable character. It's got a unique, lovable villain. Yeah, I think the game is kind of too easy in parts, and it's a little on the shorter side, but there's so much charm to be loved here. You have the main mechanic in it is this jump dash, kind of like what you would see in 2D games where you would double jump and then dash forward.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have played this.
Oh, it's just a charming game, and the PS4 version isn't broken in any way.
Right.
It's solid. It's a good release, and it's affordable. I think it's like $30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Another simple indie, one and done. A big one that was highly anticipated this fall was the Zelda DLC. Highly anticipated.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Short version, it's just a lot more shrines. But the awesome version is you get a motorcycle. This DLC is worth it. Get it.
No, I actually disagree.
Okay, well, all right.
I think the DLC is both of these DLCs are a heavy disappointment.
Yeah,
and
well,
the second one, as it was advertised, was supposed to be like about the champions, expanding on the story. But in reality, the stories just aren't there. The writing is non-existent, essentially.
Yeah.
What you want, what you want. You know, what we were expecting was kind of maybe like a couple more dungeons, getting, you know, more feeling of backstory behind these champions. But instead, as you said, all we got was really more shrines and a motorcycle.
Yep, but the motorcycle is awesome.
It's not worth that price of entry.
I kind of bought it for the motorcycle.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I had a friend who bought it. We were both playing it, and I'm just like, wow, really? This is it?
I didn't expect them to do something big, and I don't think they should. Zelda is very self-contained, and I think that's good. They are in development of a new Zelda game, and they do say they want to make them come out faster. So I think 3-4 years. I think we're going to have another big mainline Zelda game on the Switch.
I think in 2 years. I think they're definitely just going to use this. They're going to use the same engine, man.
Oh, yeah, use the same engine. It's beautiful. I think use the same game again. I want to know where they go story-wise from here, though. Right?
I mean, well...
I really want them to do a crazy offshoot Zelda game. I want it to be very different. You know, I want them to do something very interesting. And
yeah, something Majora's Mask-wise.
Yeah, something Majora's Mask-wise. But I also want them to do... I love this art style. I love this aesthetic, the music. You know, Hyrule is kind of like this post-apocalyptic land now. So I'm really curious where they go from here, right?
Well, it usually is. Dude,
I want to see... And here's just another little tiny thing I'd love to see come back. The Pickery. Remember the Minish Cap? You remember that one?
Yes. With
the Pickery, and you went small, and that is my favorite Zelda game. And I want to see the Pickery come back. I want to see stuff with the Minish Cap. I love that. I want that to come back.
Okay, instead of all these shrines, I would love to... Okay, I'm a big Wind Waker fan.
First of all, I loved the shrine system. I thought it was great for gameplay.
It was unique, but I wasn't going to go out of my way to find them all, that's for sure. I know a lot of people did because they adore this game.
Well, something that I thought was fun about it is that looking for all the shrines, I got to explore the world. And there were places where you found shrines that were just this new stuff that was like, wow, this is awesome. Like, I might blow up, I might have my shrine finder thing on, and then I blow up a wall, and I fall into this hole and find this giant underground, like, castle. Right? And there's a shrine.
Sure.
And it was these just awesome things that just made me love the game even more. Looking for shrines, it encouraged adventure and looking for little things in the world that I thought were really awesome.
I mean, all I did was... The way I went about the game was... just trying to find, you know, I would head towards the next like boss area. You know, you'd look on the map, see the boss in the distance, which was really cool. Like, I'm heading in that direction, and then any shrine that I happened to pass by, I went into.
Yeah,
and that was, I mean, to me, that was all the fun I needed to have. And then occasionally, I would stray off the path and like, I want to go over there, see another shrine. Nothing wrong with nothing. You know, it's just the way I played the game.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that.
With this DLC, though, just doing that without saying, like, hey, I want to go over there, it was missed. I think it was a missed opportunity to bring players back into Breath of the Wild.
I don't think it should have been the Champion's Ballad either. I personally think they should have done something that took place right after the campaign. Literally at the very end. Spoiler for the after credits scene. You and Zelda are just walking away from the castle through the fields, and you see the ghosts of the champions and the king looking over it. I think the game should legitimately pick up right there. And you take Zelda to, like, the town, and you basically, like, just start... Make it a prologue for the next Zelda game, right? Make them start rebuilding the world and redo everything. Have a new enemy kind of reveal. And just make this prologue for the next story. Add shrines,
yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be Ganon every time.
It doesn't have to be Ganon every time. And I would prefer... And I know we talked about this even with Mario Odyssey. You know, Nintendo's been doing the same thing for like 30 years, 40 years.
Oh my god, Mario Odyssey. I can't wait to talk about that game on the Gamecast, or on the Game of the Year cast again.
Yeah. I am, you know, especially after the Bowser's Inside Story stuff where we did character development for Bowser a couple years ago on the DS. Like, I want Bowser to work together with Mario. I want a different enemy, right? I think Bowser and Mario... No, DK.
We talked about that earlier. Bring back original Donkey Kong.
Dude, freaking, like, have Bowser fall in love with someone else, and have, like, their engagement party, and have Bowser's dad show up. and starts screwing stuff up.
Bowser's dad.
And Mario's best man.
Donkey Kong.
And Mario and Bowser have to screw up Bowser's dad, and like you get to ride DK through the jungle or something.
No, Drew. Here we go. Here's the sequel to Mario Odyssey.
Right, okay.
Bowser falls in love with Pauline from New Donk City, and Pauline is kidnapped by Donkey Kong.
Just do a King Kong thing. Yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Or we do. This is a Luigi. We didn't get to see Luigi much. What if like Luigi becomes like a blue collar worker in like a building in New Donk City, and it's just like this Fight Club-esque game.
Have like Luigi turn evil.
No, like Luigi just comes out of this this social like this world that is required by society in New Donk City.
Yeah.
Have this like super like revolutionary game.
All right, awesome. we're getting sidetracked. Basically, Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC. I didn't like it personally.
Yeah, it's just more of
you love the motorcycle and being crazy.
Dude, motorcycle's awesome.
I don't deny the motorcycle is fun, but I don't think it's worth $20.
It's $30.
Oh god, that's worse.
It's worth every penny.
Oh, that's right. You can't just. Okay, that was the other thing that really bothered me because I had no interest in the first DLC.
Right. Oh, do you have
to
get
buy both?
Oh.
That's why it's $30.
I think the first one's interesting, kind of like the Trials of the Sword, a new mode. It expanded on some stuff that I found was really cool. When I was starting to look for shrines a lot, there were a couple islands off the edge that I would find that aren't even on the map that you would try and swim towards, and then like a wave would take you in, and then you'd wake up with no gear, and it would be
it's
this
called
like
Eventide.
survival.
I actually never found that when I played it.
Yeah, no, I can show you where it is if you want.
No, I know where it is now because
you should
YouTube
play it.
Videos
It's actually
and whatnot.
It's actually kind of difficult, but it's really fun and unique. And like I'm saying with the shrines, if you start looking around the world really closely, there's stuff like that all over the place. Like there's just these weird something I didn't even notice during my main game that I finished later is there's these labyrinths all over. I remember like one when I was on the edge, there was this storm. There's this labyrinth island, right? There's these labyrinths.
Yes.
4 of them split across the map. They have these shrines with these certain armor types that are really awesome to try and go through and complete. Like, the game is... The open world is incredible, honestly. There's so much to do and so much to discover.
No, it's pretty crazy.
So
one other DLC that came out is the Final Fantasy 15.
Yep.
Episode Ignis. The cooking guy.
Oh, isn't this... Oh, wait, okay, no, this is the cooking guy.
So, for those that don't know, and I won't spoil anything regarding Final Fantasy 15 itself, this will be a very general opinion over it. I have a couple of friends that are hardcore into Final Fantasy 15. They love everything about it. There's been 2 character DLCs involving Final Fantasy 15 prior to episode Ignis, okay?
Right.
And they have been very much below par and not worth it. Okay?
What about the Prompto? That looked interesting in like the Arctic. It was like a shooter. Like
it's just not very good, man.
You can't
I don't know what else to tell you. Now, Ignis, cooking guy. What separates this is in the middle of the story in Final Fantasy 15. There's certain events that happen, and right. Ignis kind of comes out of nowhere, or a certain aspect of the story just stops on a dime.
He's just like, the plot. He's the plot.
You're just like, what the fuck happened?
Like he just he does whatever the plot needs him to do. Honestly, that is who Ignis is.
This DLC fills in that hole,
right?
And it's a needed hole.
It's like Gandalf in The Hobbit, the book. He just disappears, and he just appears again. And he's
right.
All plot relevant now. So,
what happens story-related wise in this DLC is very much needed, and it's fine. It's good. Mm-hmm. The gameplay is okay. Ignis has a cut. He uses his cooking abilities in this kind of like weird and kooky way. It's
kooky.
It's it's fun.
Right.
I'm not saying
DLC, so. Like,
but it's not great. Now, I think it's $6 price tag on it is very much affordable, and I do like that. Thank God it's not $20 goddamn dollars.
Right, yeah.
No,
it's smart.
It wouldn't be worth that. For this $5 to $6 entry fee of DLC, I'd say it's good enough for that. and where and it's and how pertinent it is to the story of the main game. I mean, to be honest, I feel like I got a middle finger there. This should have been in the main game.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm
this
kind
is
of
the
detached
best
from Final Fantasy right now, so.
This is the best Final Fantasy 15 DLC to date.
Okay.
And there's going to be one more after this, unfortunately.
And it's standalone, right? I can buy it and just play it.
I'm not sure about that, actually.
I'm pretty sure it is.
If it is, then that might be fun in itself.
Yeah. Pretty sure all the DLC stories are all just like, you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a very new concept, actually.
Is it? I think Wolfenstein, the New Order did that. The Last of Us did that.
I don't think you see it too often, that's for sure. I think you have to have the base game in order to play it, generally.
You sure? Let me just Google that really quick.
Yeah. Well, while you're doing that, we'll get into the last game we're going to talk about, which is a port of a very, very good game came out on the PS4, and it's Okami HD.
Okami HD.
Yep. It's only $20 for this full-fledged, basically game of the year when it did come out. I think it came out in like 2007. It definitely won soundtrack of the year. I remember that. Have you played Okami before?
No.
Are you familiar with it at all?
I've heard of it. It's one of those kind of little legends, right?
Okay.
The industry.
So when this game came out, you're Amaterasu, this famous Japanese kind of folklore dog creature. So your main character is a dog, and the system in place, it's an RPG game, and it's got a very unique art style to it.
Mm-hmm.
Very unique.
Just to pipe in really quick on the DLC stuff, I'm not seeing anybody say that. I'm gonna just go to the Xbox store really quick on my Xbox and check.
Okay. So you'll know immediately if this art style appeals to you as a gamer or not, whether you want to keep playing the game.
I'll actually just throw a picture up of the Okami art style for the viewers.
Yeah, it's very hard to describe.
Yeah.
But basically, you're going about the universe trying to basically stop it from ending and bring light back from dark.
Right.
So
it's very well, not watercolor. What is that? It's pastel.
It's kind of a mixture of that pastel watercolor. Like it's got a pastel background with watercolor in the foreground generally.
Yeah, very classic Japanese.
It does only run at 30 frames per second, but there's a reason behind that. The engine that it was built in, that's all it can handle. And being an older game, I'm willing to forgive. You don't even really notice that it runs that low, actually. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have the game on the Wii personally because I actually like the kooky motion controls you do. So the way it fights is you draw. You're like an artist in the game, and that's how you attack and unlock certain things as you go about the environment. It's a really unique feature, and that goes back to me liking unique games and unique concepts. Right, and this game exudes personality, it exudes uniqueness. It has a fantastic, unique art style. It's very Japanese, to say the least.
Right, it's very, very, very Japanese. No,
but I say you gotta check it out.
Alone.
They are?
Yeah, episode Ignis, GLaDOS, Prompto, all $4.99. They all look like I can download it without owning the game.
But can you play it without owning the game?
That's what I'm trying to find out. I'm sure it would tell me, wouldn't it?
I don't know, man.
Install on your home Xbox One console plus access.
Yeah, if you missed out on Okami when it originally came out, now with its small price tag, it's a 50-hour game, 30 to 50-hour game, and to get it for $20, and it's a Game of the Year contender when it came out, amazing.
Yeah. So, Okami HD. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So some of the games on the horizon for the January cast. I got the Inpatient, which is a VR game I've been looking forward to for a while.
I still do not have a VR headset, so I cannot really pipe in on the VR stuff.
Yeah. Dragon Ball Fighter Z is coming out, which is supposed to be a hype fighting game.
Yeah, that was E3. I played that.
And Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter World.
Which that'll be the big taker on the next podcast for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's gonna be the one you constantly talk about. I might go rent it if I have the money for it.
Oh, definitely, man. Yeah, I mean, it's coming out on Xbox. You might as well.
Yeah, I might as well. I don't know. I'm kind of tight for money right now because I am saving up to go to both events in April. And, I live on my own and I don't have a huge high-paying job, so I'm gonna make a Patreon right now and I'm gonna plug it in the. Give me money.
Give me money to play Monster Hunter World,
so I can play Monster Hunter World.
Oh man, I mean, I'm particularly excited for this game. I've been wanting to get into Monster Hunter.
Loves this game.
Oh, I played the beta. It was everything I wanted and more. And with the single player aspect, I can't wait for it. I did pre-order the game, as I mentioned earlier on the cast.
Right, you did. I did not.
I did.
I don't have any games pre-ordered right now.
I will probably end up pre-ordering Ni no Kuni 2.
The only game right now that I know for a fact that I am going to get is Far Cry 5.
Okay.
I'm going to play all the other games, but I don't know if I'm going to buy them. I know I'm going to buy Far Cry 5. I'm going to be streaming that a lot. I'm going to play through the whole game. Single player, then I'm going to play... I think I'm going to get D to get it, so we're going to play co-op because it's so much fun. So
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Drew, final words and take us out.
December kind of sucked.
It was low ball.
It was low ball. Christmas was kind of shitty for me. New Year's was kind of boring. Yeah, it was a shitty month.
Oh man. Well, I was the opposite. I spent Christmas with my best friend's family.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I spent New Year's up in the mountains learning how to ski again.
Dude, I miss skiing so much.
I always try and do something different every year. I don't like doing the same thing all the time.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I look forward to January.
And also in like a week or so, we're going to do our Game of the Year cast. So
yeah, the Game of the Year cast is right around the corner. I am heavily looking forward to that. I can't wait to talk about some of the games. I can't wait to school you guys on some of these indie games you guys missed.
Oh well, you might be surprised. I might throw a few curveballs onto my list and be like, what?
All right. Well, I have made a top 25.
I'm going to do top 10. That's it. I think I'm going to do top 10, and I'm going to do top 5 multiplayer.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I would love that. I would love to hear that.
Yeah.
But I made a top 25, 11 through 25. I'll just quickly go through and kind of just tell you a little bit about the game, because I'm sure you missed a lot of them.
Right.
Especially the listeners. Don't have time to play over 60 games like I did in 2017, over 2017 releases.
It's because you moved to a different country and you got laid off. It's the only reason.
I had a lot of free time. What can I say?
You had a lot of free time.
But that's okay. 2017 was the best year to get laid off, I suppose, because all the games came out. Oh, man.
Dude,
I'm looking forward to
it. A better year, I'm telling you.
I hope not, because I don't want to spend that much money again.
Well, GameStop has rental games now, so that should be nice.
Yeah, I'm already taking advantage of that.
Yeah, is it available all of a sudden, or?
No, I will be taking advantage of it.
Yeah, no, I will be as well.
But I'm still taking advantage of PlayStation SharePlay.
Oh my god. Yeah, all right. Well,
this was our Gamecast of December. Thank you for joining us, and hit us up on Twitter. What's your Twitter, man?
At Boogadaball, same as my. It's also in my panel, and I can also do a Nightbot command right now. I'll just throw my Twitter in the chat.
Excellent. You can find me. Type in Red Leaf Retrocast on Twitter, or at Bowling JD. You can find the podcast at Podbean. That's where our feed is. It's on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Smart Radio, TuneIn Radio, and many more. Give us a review on iTunes. It'll help us continue this podcast going. It helps the podcast come up in search bars.
Yep. I can feel JD was losing the fire for the podcast this month. So bad that I had to text him.
I've been in a rut, you might say.
Yeah, no, same, but here we are. So
please hit it up. Leave a review for us. Give us questions.
Yeah.
And I look forward to doing this again with you next month, Drew.
Or next week, we're doing Game of the Year pass. Gotta forget we're doing Game of the Year here.
Games cast next month, man.
Oh, the games. Well, I mean, this is a games cast too.
Yeah,
it's all games cast. No, I'm excited for all the podcasts. So,
all right, peace out, guys.
Peace out.